Hello there. We are still making the Peyton's Kroy yoga socks. And I am making mine with Peyton's Kroy socks stripes in the color Burnished Sierra Stripes, just so you know. Now we have worked all the way through these 8 rounds. We did the 10 rounds of ribbing, and we did the 8 rounds, and then we did the 8 rounds over and over again until we reached 4 inches. Now it told us to end on round 4 or 8. Now when I had finished round 4, I didn't quite have 4 inches. So I said, okay, I'm going to go to round 8. Well, now I have 4 and an 1/8. But I'm going to live with that instead of unraveling it. That would be silly. So 4 and 1/8 inches is what I have here, ending on round 8. So if you've worked yours so far, what you did is the 10 rounds of ribbings and then the 8-row pattern. You can see how the rows alternate. You have a little rib here, and then a rib there, and then a rib there, and then a rib there, and they go back and forth. So if you want, you can count at this time how many times you repeated those 8 rounds, so that you can remember next time you make your next sock. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 total times I went through round 1 through 8. So I'm going to write that down on my sheet here. I worked rounds 1 through 8 a total of 4 times. And that will help me remember the next time I make my second sock, and then they will be exactly the same. But I can also hold it up to the other and compare. But sometimes it helps to just have some little notes like that to guide you. Now, since I have finished my 4 inches, I'm ready for the next section. The next section says knit. So you're going to be knitting all the way around this time. And increase 8 stitches evenly around. 72 stitches. When it says 72 stitches, that means after you work those increases, now you will have 72 stitches all the way around. Right now, we have 64 stitches all the way around, because that's what we cast on at the beginning. Now before you increase, before you do this round, it would be a good idea to count your stitches all the way around, just to make sure you haven't increased by accident or decreased by accident and you don't have the right number of stitches. So before you start this increase round, count your stitches and make sure you have 64, and then now we can start increasing. Now in order to do these 8 increases, it says increase 8 stitches evenly around. We need to do the increases like 2 or 3 will be here, 2 or 3 will be there, 2 or 3 will be there. Now we could just haphazardly do it, or we could use math, and I like to use math. So I'm going to get out my great big calculator here. Now I know that I have 64 stitches. I guess it would help if I turned it on first. Turn it on. 64 stitches. See, 64. Divided by 8, because that's the number of increases I need to make, is 8. So when I hit my enter, it's 8. 8 times 8 is 64. That's easy math. I like easy math. And if you're good at math tables, you probably didn't even need the big honking calculator like I had to use. 8 times 8 is 64. So since we have 64 stitches, now we know all we have to do is knit 8 stitches and then increase 1. Knit 8 stitches and do an increase. So actually what you'll be doing is you'll be working 7 stitches and then doing an increase in the next stitch, because the increase in most Yarnspirations patterns is just to do a knit front and back, because they didn't tell you on this pattern how to do the increase. It just says that you need to increase. Just so you know, because I have been doing these Yarnspirations patterns for several years now, knit front and back is the recommended increase for just a generic increase for them. So we're just knitting around. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we're on the 8th stitch, and here's where we do our increase. We're going to knit like normal, and we don't take it off the needle. We take the point to the back, and we knit through the back. That made an increase. So let me show you how to do that knit front and back on great big needles with great big yarn. I know you can pull up another video that'll show you how to do a knit front and back, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you on here so that you'll know and you'll have no question. You won't have to go to another video. You'll have it right here. Alright, first I'm just going to knit a regular row here. That was my background music, originally composed by Sandy Davis. That's me. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to knit front and back. You knit like normal, bring the yarn like that, but you don't take the stitch off. You take your needle to the back, you work in the back, you wrap it like a knit stitch, and you pull it forward, and now you take the original stitch off. So now we made 2 stitches with that, so let's do it again. Knit like normal, wrap it, pull the yarn forward like you normally do, but don't take it off. Whip it around to the back, stick your needle through the back, wrap it, pull it forward, and take it off. So that's a knit front and back. So now you know how to do a knit front and back. And you can always have like extra needles sitting around that you can grab, and you can practice things like this before you actually do it on your project. That's what I would recommend. Just so that you get really comfortable with doing that stitch before you do it in your project. Because you don't want to try new things on a project. Do your new things on an extra set of needles and set them off to the side and get them out of the way. Take a sip of water. Alright, back to the project. So, we did 2, 4, 6, 7, and then we knit an increase on the stitch 8. Here comes our next set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here's where we do our increase. Knit in the front, go around to the back, knit in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, go to the next needle, 5, 6, 7. I was like, what am I doing? Do an increase in the 8th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Do an increase in the 8th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do an increase in the 8th stitch. Go to the next needle. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do an increase in the 8th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do an increase in the 8th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then do an increase in the 8th stitch. Now we should have 72 stitches, so let's count and make sure. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 45, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72. La 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 la. We got it right. I love it when that happens. 72 stitches. Divide into 24 stitches on each of the 3 needles. So I remember that I had 22 here, so I just need to get 2 stitches because I need to have 24 on each needle. Right now I have 22 here. I need to get 2 stitches off of here and put them over there. So just slide them down where the points are close to each other and just slip 1 and slip 2. You're slipping them purlwise so your points are facing each other. So now I have 24 there. Now let's see how many I have here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. So now I need to transfer 3. I'm going to slip 3 from the last needle. 1, 2, 3. So I should have 24 here. I'm going to double check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Yep, 24. Now I'm ready. I have 24 stitches on each needle. La, 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 la. So we have finished the section that said next round. Now it says work 5 rounds in knit 1, purl 1 ribbing. So that is exactly the same thing we did at the beginning when we did our knit 1, purl 1 ribbing. We did our 10 rounds of knit 1, purl 1 ribbing. So that's what we're doing now. We're going to do knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. And then for the next 4 rounds after that, we will be knitting the knits and purling the purls. So that's how you'll do your ribbing in the round. So I will see you in the next video when I have finished doing my 5 rounds of knit 1, purl 1 ribbing. And that's the story from this crazy lady. I'll talk to you later. Bye.